there's a technique I used on my most recent release, actually. I've just had a song out called Lady Love with Oden and Fatzo.
I'm Defected. I really like that record.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I love it as well. But it really wasn't an easy write. Like we all got in the studio together. We had this whole other song going called Casanova, and it was the same instrumental, but I wrote a whole top line slash song called Casanova with my friend and writing partner Stevie Appleton. And the boys were in there as well, at the Oden Fatso lads. And we just had this Casanova thing going on for a few hours. And we were like, is anyone excited by this? And everyone was like, it's cool, but am I blown away? No. And I was like, there's no way I'm letting these guys go back to France with like no song with me, because I loved them, and I loved they just had Lauren out as a hit. And I was like, I need to create another Lauren because I just think it's great. And it was also one of my dad's favorite songs as well at the time. And he actually sent it to me saying, have you heard this? It's my favorite song at the moment. And I was like, I have heard it. And I was like, because we've got a lot of the same taste, me and my dad. So I was like, I cannot let this not work. So then I was like, right, which I never do this, but I was like, let's scrap this and start again. And everyone was like, do we want a new beat? Do we need a new instrumental? And I was like, no, because I really like this. I really like where the beat's going. So then we slowed it down by like 40 BPM and just sang like soulful melodies really slowly. And just this was literally like it was coming into the evening, and I just was like, we have to try something different. So yeah, we slowed it right down, almost like, so it's quite jazzy, and you could really hear all the little intricate details of the instrumental, like, and the cool guitar riffs. And it just unlocked a whole new side of my style that day. Um, I literally was just jamming on the mic, and that's where all the melodies came from. And everyone in the room was like jumping up and down silently, just being like, yes, 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 yes. And I was like, oh shit, I think I'm actually nailing it now. And then we sped it up back to 128 BPM, 130 BPM, whatever it is. I think it's around that. Sped it back up, and it just sounded unreal. And we were like, that's it then, done. And because it was quite late at this point, me and Stevie then took away the gibberish that I'd sang, and we wrote the lyrics at a later date and sent the lyrics and the vocals to Oden Fatzo because they were back in France at that point. And it was literally weeks later because we had to find time to get back into the studio to write the lyrics. And yeah, and then me and Stevie, we did, and the Oden Fatso boys loved it. So yeah.
It's an amazing track, and it's obviously a killer collaboration. I love that story because one of the things I noticed when I listened to all of your tracks, number one, they're so diverse, but such a huge array of different artists. And there I am thinking, wow, it's just amazing that you're able to churn out all these amazing tracks with such a different range of artists and producers. And so it's really interesting to hear that actually it's not always the first take, it's not always the first record that pops.
Yeah, it's mad because I had Gold out a couple of months ago, and that was written in probably an hour. It's just again me jamming on the microphone, and it happened immediately. And we didn't realize how good it was until we listened back to it a couple of days later. We just were like, right, move on next. Quick demo, move on next. We were like just churning out the tunes that day, just trying to get loads of bits down, and we'll just see what sticks. And then Oden Fatso happened around the same time. I think we wrote it around the same time as I wrote Gold. And again, we just slaved away at that one, and then it eventually fell into place. You just never know. And then they've ended up coming out around the same time as well, and they've got completely different stories and completely different processes. It's never the same.